Hey everybody, welcome back to another Lord of the Rings playthrough here. I just got done getting through We Must Away or Break a Day, and so now I'm going to travel over the Misty Mountains Grim with my four heroes here. And I have some card substitutions that I'm going to make. Just before we even get started, my heroes are going to be Pippin, Sam, and Merry, and then Bilbo is the saga hero. Now, I was able to get the treasure during the last playthrough. So I have Sting, Orcrist, and Glamdring that I get to put into my deck. Then I also substituted. So I took out Song of Hope uh, from that to make that replacement. Now, there are no rules about sideboarding in Lord of the Rings, but I don't want to make my player deck too big because then I will never be able to draw it. And then I also have the Evening Star, which I included as a sideboard earlier during an earlier episode. Um, and I got rid of Explore Secret Ways. Explore Secret Ways just seems to be a not required for this. So I'm going to set that aside as well. So I take all of these, and when I do this, I never like to put them all kind of grouped together. So there we have that. I'm going to set my initial threat. Okay, my four heroes have a total threat of 20. Put this up here. I got my faithful companion, my friend of friend, so to speak, Albert. He helps me out, and now we get to set this up. Now this will be the first time that I've done this on camera, but I have played this before a couple of times. Just to set up the scenario, we've already now beaten the trolls that came out. The sun rose. We actually killed them, but in the book, the sun rises, turns them to stone. Now, what I love about the game is that it changes very abruptly, just like the feel in the book. There's a point at which the dwarves are going across the Misty Mountains, and then in the high passes of the Misty Mountains, and they end up taking shelter in a cave, and all of a sudden they go from being outside exposed to the elements to being in a goblin city that's in this mountain, and it's a very abrupt change of feel. And so in this case, this scenario has two separate encounter decks. One encounter deck is made from some of the cards that were in the previous scenario to kind of keep the feel of the previous scenario there. It's still got some of those enemies, it's got Suspicious Crow, Wind, Rain, things like that. And then halfway through the scenario, um, if you beat one of the quests, then you move to this second encounter deck, and that's how the game changes its feel. So the game designers really did an amazing job here putting the players into the game, or into the books or the movies, depending on which you prefer. For me, it's six of one, half dozen of the other. So, anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna get my six cards here. Let's see. So, build a pony, dagger, unseen strike, in the shadows, Andrath Guardsman, Unseen Strike. So I know it's coming up, so I think that is going to be something good to have here. I'm going to keep that hand. Now it says shuffle. So here it is. So it says shuffle over the Misty Mountains Grim in the Western Lands, which I did, into one encounter deck, and that's the active encounter deck. Then shuffle, and so I set this one out of play. So that's cool. And so now, before I even get started, here it is. It says each player may search his deck for one treasure card and add it to his hand. Okay, well, that's cool. So now that treasure that I made, or that I had, is going to help me out. I am going to bring out Glamdring, and it goes into my deck, and now I have to shuffle. There, so we have one of each kind of token for my heroes. So now we get to get started here. So I'm going to draw. So that is really good. Quick strike. Oh, okay. So now we can do this. We turn this over. Now, unlike the last quest, now I have 16 progress to make on this thing, and it says when revealed, search the encounter deck for one copy of Stone Giant and add it to the staging area. So here, these Stone Giants are pretty ugly. So we're gonna try to. Oh, I'm shuffling up. I shouldn't be shuffling up. I want to get the Stone Giant. Now, there's a bunch of Stone Giants. And there's these things called galloping boulders. Now, galloping boulders are nasty because they do 3 damage to a character. So I need to be able to get one of my hobbits, because the hobbits are small. So I need to get my hobbits buffed pretty quickly in case galloping boulders comes out. Now this guy also has a threat of 4, which makes it really hard to make some progress on this quest, but I'm going to try. Now, fortunately, he has an engagement cost of 40, so that makes it a little easier to deal with. So I'm going to bring out Build a Pony. By bringing out Build a Pony, that helps out because he gives everybody 1 hit point, plus he gives me an ally that I can commit to the quest and can take a little damage. Now, I'm going to bring Glamdring out, and I'm going to put Glamdring onto Mary. Then I'm also going to take, not this moment, but eventually I'm going to put the Dagger of Westernice onto Mary, making Mary really crazy powerful. The good thing is that Mary right now has an attack of 6, and I have these unseen strikes, and then I also have this quick strike. What that does is that ends up meaning that I can kill a giant right this moment. So you know what I'm going to do? Yep, you heard it. I'm going to kill this giant right this moment. So I'm going to do quick strike. So quick strike allows me to claim to exhaust this guy. And now I get to claim any eligible enemy. And so this guy is eligible. And I don't want to lose an ally because if I engage him, I have to lose an ally. So I'm gonna play quick strike, and then I'm gonna play 2 unseen strikes because his engagement cost is way higher than my threat. So that means that this guy does. Let's see, I have 4 Hobbit heroes, so that's 4. Glamdring does 2 extra, plus this is 12. So I do 12 damage to this guy, and now this guy ends up dead. Now the problem is that there's like 4 or 5 more Stone Giants, and that's before I even do any questing. Get rid of these, put those in the discard pile, and now I'm going to quest. So I'm going to quest for 5, 6. I'm going to leave Bilbo out. I don't know why, but I just feel like in case something crazy happens. So I'm going to turn this over. Oh, look, and there's another Stone Giant. So I quested for 6. So now I need to get my questing die. And so that means I put 2 there. Yeah, that's the problem with this, is that you end up with all these crazy things. Okay, so I hope I don't get galloping boulders. Really hope I don't get galloping boulders. I'm not going to engage anybody. I'm going to ready everybody. I'm going to increase my threat, and I'm going to draw. So I get Rosy Cotton. Now, Rosy Cotton is a great ally to have because I get to do all sorts of neat things with her. But for now, let's see, 2, 2, 2. So I'm going to play the Dagger of Westernice onto Mary. Now, both of these things are restricted. So that means I can't have more than 2 restricted attachments. But I can put other attachments, but that's it. 2 restricted is it. And now I'm going to also play Rosy Cotton, and that helps me do even more. So now I'm going to quest. I'm going to quest for 6. Take this out. And okay, so it's Overhanging Rock. It says, well, Overhanging Rock, I can start cycling through my deck using Baggins tokens. So I make no progress here, but I am going to travel to the overhanging rock. Now that's not a problem, but it's definitely an issue because this acts as a buffer between me questing and my scenario. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to engage this guy. So by engaging him, he readies. Now, when I engage him, it says that I have to discard an ally that I control. Actually, you know what? I am not going to engage him this round. I thought I was, but just too crazy. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to ready. I'm going to raise my threat. So I get resources. I have 3 Baggins, 1 Tactics, 1 Leadership, 3 Lore. And I'm going to draw a card. And it says Gather Information. It says I can take 1 card and add it to my hand. Now, I am going to take advantage of this. I'm going to use one of these to draw 2 cards. And I'm going to get rid of the ring mail. And I'm going to do it again. Basically, I'm activating this. Okay, it doesn't give me a limit on how many times I can do it, but it's good. So now I'm going to do that, and now I can bring out Barlaman, Butterbur. I'm going to bring out the Hobbit Cloak for 1 here. Now I think I can do some good stuff. So I'm going to quest for 8. Okay, so that's the Lone Lands. So that means I was able to do 2 to here. So now this is what ends up happening is you kind of get landlocked a little bit. So I'm going to engage this guy. By engaging this guy, now he readies. And I'm also going to draw a card. Okay, so that's a sneak attack. That's really nice for when Gandalf comes out. So now I have to discard an ally. I'm going to discard Build a Pony. And now I'm going to let this guy come through because I can assign all the damage from this guy to Barlaman Butterbur. I'm going to have him come through undefended. It says defending player must raise his threat by 2. So I'm going to raise my threat by 2. Okay, and then Barlaman Butterbur dies. So now this guy can attack for 8, and then Rosie, I'm going to pick Mary. Mary is going to, I'm going to add to his attack. That's 10. And now Sam, because Sam had his ability, he has 2, and I can group attack, and now this guy dies. Okay, so now I've gotten rid of 2 of these stone giants, and I feel like it's no worse for wear. Now this is where I really need to start making progress so I don't get landlocked or get a couple of stone giants out, because as soon as I do that, it becomes near impossible to win, which is kind of the way that the book or the movie goes. You know, they need to get over the Misty Mountains. Send for aid. So I'm not going to do any of these side quests at this point, unless this gets freed up. So now let's see here. I'm going to raise my threat. Thank you, Albert. So there's 2, 5, 6. Okay, it says first player chooses 1 stone giant. In the staging area at the end of the quest phase, the stone giant engages the player. If there is no stone giant cards in the staging area, search the encounter deck for 1 stone giant and add it to the staging area. So there's a stone giant. I've already disposed of 2 of these things. I don't know how many more there are. I should have counted when I was looking through the encounter deck. Here's the funny thing, is that I quested for 6. That puts 6 out there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to activate Rosie as an action, and I'm going to add it to Sam. And so that means that this gets used. And now I can travel to the Lone Lands. Oh, and I also did 3 there. So this is good. So I'm going to get some more resources. 3 Baggins, 3 Tactics, 2 Leadership, 3 Lore. Draw. That's the Friend of Friends. I'm purposely going to not play this because I want to engage this guy somehow and then play him. Oh, I forgot to raise my threat, so I'm at 26, I think. So now it's time to quest. So I'm going to quest for 3, 5, 7, 8. I'm just going to hope that nothing crazy comes out. So that's 8. Okay, there's that overhanging rock. So that's 6. So you know what? I'm going to activate Rosie, because what I want to do is I want to remove 1 hero's resource and then gain 1 resource. So I'm going to use that for Bilbo. And so quested for 10, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm at 4. Now I'm going to make this the active location. Now I'm definitely going to use the overhanging rock again as an action. And now I'm going to build a pony. I'm going to get rid of the evening star. I'm going to do it one more time. And I'm going to get the fast hitch and get rid of burglar baggins. So now we ready, everybody. Raise my threat. So we have 2 baggins, 4 tactics, 3 leadership, and 4 lore. And now I'm going to... Okay, so this is good because the evening star allows me to put progress on locations. And then for every location, or for every copy of the evening star that's in my discard pile, I get that, have it happen again. So let's see if we're going to do this right. I'm going to bring out Build a Pony. So that's Bill. I'm going to fast hitch. I'm actually going to fast hitch Rosie. And you'll see why in a minute. So now I'm down to 3 lore. So now I'm going to commit 6, 7 to the quest. Draw. Okay, guffawing. It says first player choose 1 stat. At the end of the quest phase, Stone Giant engages the player with the highest threat. Okay, so at the end of the quest phase, I have to engage that guy. Well, I'm okay with that for a lot of reasons. Okay, so I still quested for 7. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now this guy gets engaged. Now, because I engage that guy, he readies, and I get to draw a card. Boots of Erebor. Boots from Erebor. And now when I engage him, I have to get rid of an ally that I control, which is going to be this guy. Okay. Now here's what I'm going to do. I am going to block with Sam, or I'm going to defend with Sam. Sam has 2, 4, watch this, 6 defense, and this guy has 6 attack. So let's see if that was a wise move. Okay, it says put this card on the top card of the encounter deck. So that's Galloping Boulders. So that's going to take a questing character and do stuff to him, and that's going to be a pain. But that goes here. So, but that means Sam doesn't take any damage. But now I'm going to ready Rosie. I'm going to exhaust Rosie again, and I'm going to add it to this guy. So this guy, let's see, so that's 4, that's 2 to this, so that's 6, 8, 10. He defends for 3, so he has 7 damage on him right now. So that's good. Now there's nothing in the staging area. This would be a prime opportunity for me to quest for a whole boatload, because Galloping Boulders is coming out. Okay. Well, there's more Boots of Erebor. So I'm going to put Boots from Erebor onto him. I'm going to put Boots of Erebor onto him. I am now going to... Oh, I'm going to get resources. 3 baggins, 5 tactics, 4 leadership, 4 lore. And now I'm going to bring out the Androth Guardsman. By doing that, The Androth Guardsman says choose a non-unique enemy. That's this guy. And he doesn't attack this turn. So that's perfect. That's why I like that guy. So let's see if I can quest the heck out of this. Because I know Galloping Boulders is coming. Galloping Boulders is a horrible card. So I need to quest with him. I'm going to quest for 7. And then I'm going to leave Rosie back just for a minute here, just in case. Actually, I don't have to quest. I'm gonna bump. I'm not committing her to the quest. I'm using her ability to add to Sam. So now Galloping Boulders comes out and says chooses a questing character. Okay, he takes 3 damage and is removed from the quest, so he dies. He gets removed from the quest anyways. Okay, and I did that just in case because Rosie wasn't committed to the quest. That's why I exhausted Rosie for her ability, not to quest. Not for her questing. So that's 1, 3, 6, 8. There's nothing in the staging area. So that means I'm up to 12 now. Now, this guy gets dealt a shadow card, but he makes no attack. I'm going to ready Rosie. He makes no attack because of the Androth Guardsman. Okay, so now, oh, look, Galloping Boulders says put this card on the, this is a shadow card. Now, I think this goes back here. I'm not sure if it goes off or not, if the shadow effect goes off. Well, regardless, I'm still going to put that there. And now I'm going to attack with Mary, and Mary kills this troll, or giant. Okay, so everybody readies. Raise my threat. There's Barlaman. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quest for 5. 6. I'm going to quest for 6. Let's see here. 4. Actually, you know what I'm going to do before I do that? I'm going to raise all of these guys. So I'm gonna bring Barlaman out into play because Galloping Boulders is coming up. So now I have to commit to the quest. Now I can commit to the quest. So that's going to be 1, 3, 6, and that should be enough. I don't want to run the risk of doing anything to anybody else here, so I'm okay with what's going on. Okay, 6. So here comes the Galloping Boulders. Okay, so I'm going to pick Barlaman. Barlaman gets removed from the quest and he gets 3 damage, so he dies. But now this guy gets 5, and so now I am out of the mountain pass. Now, if you remember the book, once you're out of the mountain pass, you get sucked into the Goblin Town, and so here's the underground Goblin Village, actually, and so here it is. It says shuffle all the encounter cards back in. So this is where we abruptly change encounter decks. Now I already shuffled this, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of a shuffle. And then it says search for the Great Goblin. Okay, so there's the Great Goblin. Now the Great Goblin is going to come out and attack me. So, uh-oh, this doesn't look good. Okay, and now I get to turn this over, and this says players cannot defeat the stage unless you beat this guy. Okay, that's fine. Then it says reveal 3 encounter cards per player. So remember in the books, it was like all the goblins came out and started attacking. But I'm going to lower that by 2, because I can, by playing 2 Baggins tokens. And now I'm going to put this out where it says when revealed, starting with the first player, each player must choose 1 goblin enemy from the discard pile and add it to the staging area. So I don't have the ability to do that because there's no goblins in the staging area. So that was a good treachery to have. So life is good. So now we're going to engage this guy. Now he's got a really low engagement cost, so Pippin's ability doesn't trigger. The bummer is, no matter what, I am going to lose somebody. So I'm going to choose to lose Rosie, definitely. So he gets a combat action, but I am going to play in the shadows. Rosie is going to block the Great Goblin. Okay, and it says defending player raises threat by X. X is the number of goblins engaged with him. So I only have one goblin engaged with me, so I'm up to 30, maybe 31. Okay, but Rosie dies. So now I'm going to attack. This is where it gets to be cool, because Mary has another ability that we have never really used. So I have 4, 5, 6. Oh, the dagger only does 7, and then this guy is 8. So and he defends for 2. So the Great Goblin has 6 damage on him. I'm hoping to get out of here alive. So I have 3 baggins, 7 tactics, 4 leadership, and 2 lore, or 4 lore. And that's what I wanted to see. We're now going to start our quest phase. So when we start our quest phase, I have an action. So I'm gonna play sneak attack. When I bring sneak attack, I'm going to bring Gandalf out. Oh, I forgot to raise my threat. Gandalf allows me to do 4 damage to the Goblin King. So I'm going to or the Great Goblin. So I'm going to put 4 damage on him. A little bit of overkill, but that's okay. Now I'm going to quest for 4, 7, 9. Questing for 9. And there's nothing out. Now I do know there's lots of goblins with Surge, which is, again, thematically amazing, because totally normal Caleb made sure that this deck was thematically awesome. We're being chased by goblins in their own place. So I'm going to turn this over, and what is it? It's it says the Goblin Bent Swords, and so it says that if the Great Goblin is in the victory display, which it is, I get Surge, so this is what ends up happening. First player exhausts 1 character that he controls. Let's see, I'm going to exhaust this guy. Okay, so that's cool. And so now there's 3, 5, and I did 4, 7, 9. There's 5 there, so I travel for 4. This is where I wish I had Sting. Okay, so I'm gonna put Gandalf back in my hand. And now I'm going to engage this guy. By engaging that guy, I get to ready him. I also get to draw another card. So that's an In the Shadows. So now, let's see. Here's the thing, is that I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to defend with him, because I can do that, because of the Hobbit Cloak gives him 3 defense. Okay, and let's see. Defending player deals damage among characters equal to the number of goblin enemies engaged with him. So that's 1. So I get 1 damage. I'm going to put 1 damage onto, I guess, Bilbo. So he defended. Didn't take any damage. And so now I'm going to attack for a boatload here. Let's see. 4, 6, 8. So this goblin driver is very dead. Okay, so now we get to do this. So now I'm going to draw another Hobbit Cloak. I'm going to give myself some resources. So I have 4 baggins, 8 tactics, 4 leadership, and 5 war. I'm going to raise my threat here. And I'll bring out the Hobbit Cloak. I think I'm going to put the Hobbit Cloak onto Bilbo, just in case. I feel like I need something on him. So that's 1 leadership. And now I'm going to play Gandalf. So that's 3 there, and then 2 here. So Gandalf comes out. So Gandalf is going to do 5 damage, or 4 damage to this guy, and so he dies. So I've learned that kind of keeping the staging area clear is good in this case. So I have 1 friend of friends. That would be nice to use, I guess, but I need the second one. Okay, so now I'm going to do 4, 7, 9, 10. I'm going to quest for 10. Okay, and this is the Goblin Axeman. So that's +1 for each cave location in play. Well, he doesn't have any cave locations in play. Quested for 10. He's got 2. So that means 8. So now we have 12 here. So I have 12. Now this guy comes out. Now because he comes out, I don't have, doesn't trigger. This doesn't trigger. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, let's see, give it a shadow card. Now I'm going to play In the Shadows to lower its defense and attack by 1 each. So that means it's attacking for 0 right now. Okay. So defending player exhausts 1 character that I control. Okay, so I'm going to exhaust this guy. So he comes through for 0, and that is what it is. Great, done. So Gandalf goes bye-bye. Give myself resources. 5 baggins, 5 tactics, 4 leadership, and 4 lore. Okay, so that's Farmer Maggot. Farmer Maggot is a great draw right now. So I'm going to play Farmer Maggot. He comes out to, I should probably raise my threat by 1. Okay, so this guy now takes 1 damage, because that's what Farmer Maggot's the thing does. So now I'm going to quest. So I'm going to quest for 5, 6. There's nothing in the staging area. Okay, so now there's more Goblin Axemen. Now there's no cave location out here. So that's good. What ended up happening? I quested for 6. There's 2. So now we're at 16. And so this is where it gets to be crazy, right? Because you either have to attack or quest, and it's hard to keep everything straight. So now there's 2 guys out here. I'm actually gonna, let's deal our shadow cards. This is where Fast Hitch would come in handy, because I could then quest and attack. So I'm going to let 1 through. Let this guy through, and it says attacking enemies return to the stage area. Attacks resolved. So he does 1 damage to one of my character, and so that guy is going to, so he takes 1. So Sam takes 1. I'm going to let Farmer Maggot block this guy. Hopefully he doesn't return to the staging area. Okay, attacking area gets +1. So +2 if it's in the, okay, so this guy attacks for 3 because of the shadow effect. This guy dies. So now I'm going to attack him for 2, and he dies. If I could just get 1 more character, I think life would be good. If I could get another Farmer Maggot, that would be perfect. No, can't get a Farmer Maggot, because this guy isn't engaged with me. Sneak attack would be nice. Fast Hitch, anything. So, okay, so now I'm going to raise my resources. 6 baggins, 3 tactics, 5 leadership, and 5 lore. Okay, so that is the Burglar Baggins. Now I think that helps a ton. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2, 5, 6. Now I need to do 4 there. There's 2 out here. So let's see. So there's 3. It says goblins and cave goblin enemies get +1. So that's 5. So I am going to now play Burglar Baggins. And so by playing Burglar Baggins gives me another 2 for this phase. So that means that I'm at 19. I don't have 1 more to give here. I'm going to make this the active location. I am going to, as an action, I'm going to play Evening Star. And so I get to place I get to place 2 progress tokens here. And then because I have a second Evening Star in the discard pile, I get to place another 2. Now they don't have to necessarily go on the same location, but I'm going to choose to do it because I want to get rid of that location. So next time I can go around and do this thing. So, okay, gets a shadow card. He engages me. I probably forgot to raise my threat. So I'm going to raise my threat. Okay, I'm going to let this damage come through. No shadow effect. So that means that Sam gets 2 damage. And now I'm going to kill this guy with him. Okay, so now because I was able to kill him, I get to draw a card, which I haven't been doing, but there's a Barlaman Butterbur. Okay, so now we're ready, everybody. I haven't been using my Glamdring effect. Ugh. Okay, so now Quick Strike, that helps. Okay, so now I'm going to get resources. I'm going to play Barlaman, and now I'm going to quest. I'm going to quest for 2, or for 1, 3, 6, 7. All I need to do is put 1 here, and then I win. Oh, I forgot to raise my threat. So 7. Okay, it says, while the front door is the active location, players cannot attack goblin enemies. Okay, so that has 4, but I quested for 7, and so that means that this stage defeated. Life is good. Looks like I was able to get through this pretty well. Mary is a beast. He's super beast. I could have quick struck with him. I could have done, if I had the other friend of friends. I think he actually killed 3 more. 3. Let's do 2. So look at that. I would have been able, had I been playing the game right, I would have been able to pull out friend of friends, which would have allowed me to buff Mary and probably Bilbo a little bit more even. So that's good. Okay, so there I was able to make it through the over the Misty Mountains Grim, and the next stop we are going to go to, let's see, it says dungeons deep and caverns dim. Hopefully be able to get Bilbo's magic ring. So, okay, have a great time and hope you enjoyed.